Sometimes the most important decisions for the Chicago Bears happen long before we're even on the clock. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, your daily destination for breaking news, in-depth analysis, and the conversations that define our Chicago Bears. I'm here every single day bringing you the insights, the draft coverage, and the strategic breakdowns that you won't find anywhere else. And today, I need to talk to you about a selection that's going to happen in the top 3 of the 2020 draft. A pick that has absolutely nothing to do with us directly, but could end up defining our entire first-round strategy. Stay with me because what I'm about to break down involves the best defensive player in the entire draft class, a domino effect that's going to ripple through the entire first round, and a reality check about what the Bears are actually going to be looking at when we finally get on the draft. It's not just about who you pick. It's about understanding the board, anticipating what other teams are going to, preparing for scenarios where the players you love get taken before you have a chance to select. And in the 2026 draft, one defensive player, more discussion, more debate, more strategic planning than anyone else. A linebacker out of Ohio State who's been labeled as a generational talent at his position. Someone who can change the entire complexion of a defense from day one. Someone who every team in the top 10 would love to have, but only one team is actually going. Let me set the stage for you because understanding the context, how the draft shaping up, crucial to understanding the Bears. The top of this draft is quarterback heavy. The Jets are making moves to get their guy at number 1. The Raiders are swinging again at the position at number 2. Teams are desperate for franchise quarterback, and that desperation is going to push elite defensive talent down the board further than it normally would in a typical draft year. That's good news for teams looking to build their defense. That's good news for teams that already have their quarterback situation figured out, and that's exactly where the Tennessee Titans find them. The Titans addressed quarterback last year. They're set at that position. They're not chasing a passer in this draft. So when they get on the clock at pick number 3, they have the luxury of taking the best player available regardless of position. And according to the latest draft projections, according to the analysis coming out of scouting department, according to everyone who's been studying this draft class in detail, that best player available is a linebacker from Ohio State who's unlike anything we've seen at the position in years. 6'2", 235 pounds of sideline-to-sideline speed, instinct, and leadership. This isn't your traditional thumper linebacker who just fills holes and makes tackles. Reese is a complete 3-down player who can cover tight ends in man, drop into zone with awareness seems impossible for someone his age, blow up running plays at the line of scrimmage, and rush the passer with legitimate effect. He's a tone setter, the kind of player who makes everyone around him better just by being on the kind of leader who defensive coordinators dream about building their entire system around. And here's what makes Reese so special from a film perspective. His processing speed is elite. He diagnoses plays faster than almost any linebacker prospect I've ever evaluated. He's reading the tackle's body language, seeing the guard pulling, recognizing the formation before the snap, and he's putting himself in position to make plays that other linebackers don't even see developing. His range is set. He can go sideline to sideline and make tackles in space that most linebackers can't even get to. And his tackling technique he doesn't just throw his body at ball carrier. He breaks down, wraps up, and finishes plays consistently. But what really separates Reese from other linebacker prospects is his versatility. In today's NFL, you can't just have a linebacker who's good against the run. You need someone who can cover. You need someone who can handle different roles depending on the game plan. Reese can do all of it. He's comfortable in coverage. He's got the hip flexibility to turn and run with athletic tight ends. He's got the awareness to find holes in zone coverage and break on throws. Defensive coordinators are going to have so much flexibility with him on the field because he doesn't have limitations. He's not a liability in any situation. Now, here's where this becomes directly relevant. Chicago Bears. If Tennessee takes Reese, pick 3 is what the projections showing. That means the best linebacker in this entire draft is off the board for the first. That changes the entire team's looking upgraded. That includes us. The Bears have needs on defense, and while linebacker might not be our top priority, having an elite talent at that position would absolutely be something we'd consider if the value was there. But with Reese going at 3, that conversation is over. We're not going to have the opportunity to even consider him. And and that's going to force the Bears to look at other positions, other players, other ways to improve the defense when we're on the 20. According to the same mock draft projection, the Bears are likely to go with Romello Height, an edge rusher out of Texas Tech. Height brings length and developmental upside off the edge, exactly the kind of project that can become something special with the right coaching and development. But let me be honest about some. Height is a projection. He's a toolsy player with a high ceiling, but also a relatively low floor. He needs time to develop. He needs to add strength. He needs to refine his technique. He's not walking in day one, starting like Arvell Reese, and that's the reality of drafting at pick 25 versus pick 3. The elite, complete, ready to contribute immediately players are gone by the time we're looking at players with potential, players with ups, players who could become great but aren't there yet. This is the challenge the Bears face every single year. We're good enough to not be picking in the top. We're not good enough to be picking in the late 20s where teams are truly competing for champions. We're stuck in this middle ground. Talented players, not the elite cornerstone, franchise-defining players go. Watching Tennessee take Arvell Reese at 3 is going to be a reminder of that reality. It's going to be a reminder that while we're building something here in Chicago, while we're making progress, while we're getting better, there are still teams ahead of us getting access. And here's the strategic element that I think is so important for Bears fans to understand. The Titans taking Reese at 3 doesn't just affect them and us. It affects the entire middle of the first. Other teams that were hoping Reese lied a bit, teams laid up to get him, he fell to 7 or 8, 9. Those teams, they have to look at other positions. They have to adjust their draft board. And that creates a cascading effect throughout the entire first round, where players start coming off the board in different orders than what might have been expected. For the Bears, this could actually work in our favor in some way. If teams are pivoting away from linebacker because the elite option is off the board, maybe an edge rusher we like slides a bit further than expected, maybe a cornerback who would have been gone by 25 is still available, maybe we end up with more options at our pick than we would have. Reese still on the board, and teams still targeting line. Draft strategy is complex, and sometimes player going early that you can't get actually better value later. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed that we're not going to have a shot at Arvell. This is the kind of player that changes franchise. This is the kind of linebacker that you build your defense around for the next decade. This is the kind of leader who makes everyone better, and the Titans are going to get him because they finished a worse record than us as they have a higher pick. That's how the draft. It's the reality of the NFL, but it doesn't make it any less frustrating as a Bears fan watching an elite talent go to a division rival or to any team that's going to benefit from his presence for years to come. So what does this mean for us practically? It means when we're on the clock at 25, we're looking at edge rushers like Romello Height. We're looking at developmental pieces who could become great but need time. We're looking at value picks rather than slam dunk selection. And that's okay. That's the situation we're in. Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus have to make the most pick 25 based on the talent found in previous. I trust them to find someone who can contribute. But watching Arvell Reese go to Tennessee at 3 is going to sting, knowing what could have been if the draft order was different. Now, I want to hear from you. How do you feel about Tennessee likely taking Arvell Reese pick 3? Do you think the Bears should target an edge rusher like Romello Height 25? Or would you prefer we go in a different direction? What position do you think should be our priority? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is exactly the kind of strategic conversation that defines draft season. If you want to stay on top of every development leading up to the draft, if you want detailed breakdowns of every potential Bears target, if you want a community of fans who are as obsessed with this team as you are, then subscribe to Bears News Fan Report and hit that notification bell. This is where you get the real analysis, the deep dive, and the coverage that goes beyond the surface. Let's navigate this draft together. Bear down.